Well, good morning, my friends. It's your old pal Jordan the Lion. Welcome back. Well, today we're going to do a movie location vlog that I've been a fan of this since I was a kid. My mom loved this movie and it's just a great movie. And I think this shirt is the absolute perfect thing to wear today because both things in this shirt are referenced in the movie. The Dodgers and the Grateful Dead. They actually used one of my favorite Grateful Dead songs in this movie for a real heartbreaking scene. So we're going to take Jaw out to the Hollywood Overlook. Then we're going to head out to a city I've never been to before called Monrovia. Daze with Jordan the Lion begins now. Well, hello my friends. It's been a minute since we've been here, right? Feels like it's been actually like a couple of weeks. Just not a hot park anymore. They used to have a ton of dogs out here and then something happened where they shut down the grass and everything for a couple of weeks and just nobody ever came back. So, I don't know, I figured we'd try it again today. It's a little gloomy, but you know, he loves this place and it's a lot of land to run around. You can see him over here, where's my finger going right there. So, you notice I'm wearing a different pair of sunglasses. Well, on my Patreon I have a sunglass reward and I'll wear a different pair of sunglasses and do a special vlog, so today I'm doing that. Today's vlog I've been holding back for a sunglass vlog and I truly deem it as special. Hope you guys will too. Yeah, there's a few dogs over here. See if he has any interest in playing. What do you say? You have any interest in playing? Go get him. Now, long before I ever moved to Hollywood, I think I was probably even like a teenager when I would rewatch this movie that we're gonna vlog today, and I would say even then, someday when I move out to California, because I always knew I would, I want to go find that house and that cemetery. So we're gonna try and do that today. The movie that we're gonna vlog today is 1985's Mask, starring Cher. Hi! Well, that might have just cut our park visit a little short. Out of nowhere, all the sprinklers just shot right on. Yeah, I think we just had bad timing today. They're trying to make the best of it though. He's trying to get them to chase him. Now I'll just tell you, this is a phenomenal movie, but it's a sad, sad movie. And it's based on a true story, although when you look into it, they say it's very loosely based on a true story, but I'm not going to vlog necessarily the true story. I'm going to vlog the movie today. Well, what do you say? Let's get out of here and go start this vlog. Well, I've just entered Monrovia, and as I was driving into town, I noticed this off to the side and I said, what the heck is that? It's called the Aztec Hotel, and it's now for sale. Pretty interesting. Look at that. Mayan Bar and Grill. Nice theme. Well, we've entered the neighborhood of Rocky and Rusty Dennis. Well, as soon as I pulled into the neighborhood, I immediately got excited because I recognized this shot right here where all the bikers would occasionally and throughout the movie would be coming towards us on those motorcycles. Gar and Red and Bulldozer. Now, just to set the scene, the movie takes place in 1980, but it was filmed in 1984 for a 1985 release, and it was nominated for a Academy Award. Now, if you're not familiar with the story of this movie, Mask was a directed by Peter Bogdanovich film, which, I mean, he did The Last Picture Show, and he's also involved in the Dorothy Stratton story. If you saw my vlog on that, he was the last boyfriend of Dorothy Stratton. So it was also, had a great cinematographer, had Laszlo Kovacs, and just an amazing cast. You had Cher playing the biker mama slash mom, because she was Rusty's mom, or she was Rocky's mom, but she was also like a biker mama. So this family kind of is involved in a biker gang, which was the first time I'd ever heard of a biker gang or even knew what they were. And Rocky, her son, has from birth been afflicted with something they called Lionitis, or CDD. And it was basically a bone disorder where calcium continues to keep growing in your skull, and it was pushing his eyes and all of his features outward, twisting his nose, and would create problems for him, having vision problems, really bad headaches. And he was told when he was a kid that people that suffer this, since it's so rare, don't even live really past elementary school, and he ended up living to the age of 16. Like I said, it was based on a true story. However, the movie takes some liberties, but the movie itself is just so good that I had to come out and vlog it and show you some of where those amazing scenes were and where this movie was filmed. The house has changed, but not a ton. Some details have changed, but you can definitely tell it's the same house, the same neighborhood. Now there you see a Dodgers flag, and like I said, that plays a part in the movie because Rocky is a big Dodger fan, and throughout the movie is trying to collect the 1955 lineup of the Brooklyn Dodgers. And so he's always got pinning up those baseball cards on his wall. He has a map, because since he's a son of a biker, he wants to, in his life, take a cross-country trip on a motorcycle across Europe. Across, I guess, a continent trip. And this is the house. This is where we would have seen all those motorcycles pulling up sideways in this, or angled in this front grass. We would have seen all those bikers coming up this street to pull into here. The very first shot we see of Rusty is when her date pulls up oblong in this driveway, and then the bikers end up like kind of restraining him and throwing him back in his car. But you also see, when her parents come to visit, Estelle Getty in that car, and they're, you know, parked over here swerving up and down the road. This house is very prominent in the movie. You see it over their shoulder a lot in the movie. In fact, that was one of the things I was kind of looking forward to seeing, was if it was still here, if the neighborhood still resembled it, and it's pretty much exactly the same. So this right here is where the grandparents' car would have parked, and Rusty and his grandpa would have been like kind of boxing and fighting, and I'll match that up with that little walkway right there. And then of course, that front step where all the bikers would have been sitting drinking when Rocky comes out of that front door and says, "I can't go to my graduation, I can't go in jeans, I don't have anything to wear." And Gar says, "Get me a beer, you're going." And when he opens up that garage, or that door, he sees that they bought him a suit. So this is where the swing set would have been. How crazy is that? So cool just to see this house still exists and everything. The history of it. I mean, this was such a good movie, such a sad movie. Now that back window over there was actually Rocky's room. We see the camera kind of goes up this side and goes into his room as he's pinning the Dodger cards on the wall and everything. But we also see that's where he ends up passing away. Now this movie also has Estelle Getty, like I said. It has Sam Elliott, and just an amazing cast. So it was so cool to see that the house is still here with an amazing soundtrack. I'm not even a Springsteen fan, but they have some really great Springsteen songs in there. And like I said, when she just realizes that Rocky didn't go to school, that's his window. She goes in his room, and Grateful Dead's Ripple is playing, and she realizes before she even touches him, she knows. She says, "Don't pull this crap with me, Rock, get up." And he doesn't get up. So in real life, when Rocky Dennis died, they donated his body to UCLA for research. But in the movie, they have a real meaningful scene at a cemetery. So I'm gonna go match up that shot. I never really considered myself much of a Cher fan, but she was so good in this that as far as an actress, I always loved her as an actress. Eric Stoltz was amazing in this, and of course Sam Elliott playing Gar. The first time we see Gar, he has this shirt on that says "Mustache Rides." So, man, that's it. Where all those beer cans would have been collected and the whole group would have been sitting there. I mean, that's just unreal. So over the shoulder, you actually see this house over here a couple of times too when they're out on the front sidewalk having discussions or talking to the grandparents or anything. So the neighborhood's pretty similar to the way it was back in 1984 when they filmed it. So Cher gave such a great performance in this. She did win awards, but she didn't even get nominated for an Academy Award for it, which was kind of surprising. But that was also the same year that Meryl Streep was nominated, as well as Whoopi Goldberg for Color Purple, for various things. So the awards she won, she had a lot of great movies to contend with. And like I said, if you haven't seen this, you definitely want to see this movie because everybody in it does such a great job. The script is great. There's a great part where the doctors are telling Cher, you know, your son, you know, he may not live. And she goes, you know, you guys have been trying to put him in the ground for years. If I dug a hole every time you said he was going to die, I'd be eating chop suey in China right now. So now we're going to go to where the cemetery scene was, or where they're looking at Rocky's grave, and that's all the way in Boyle Heights. So where they actually filmed this movie kind of all over the place. It wasn't all just set here in Monrovia, just the house location mainly. So I did end up talking to a neighbor while I was out here, and they said hardly anybody ever comes out here to take photos or anything of that location. It's actually a rental house now. So if it's ever available, you could actually rent it and live in it. And I was actually told that the people that live in it now recently moved in, so we just missed our opportunity. Well, we've made it. Let's go look around. Now I think the location is straight ahead because the camera angle is looking down a hill, and the only hill is straight up there. Well, now here's where they have, in a deleted scene, the biker Red's funeral. I mean, I thought it was in the original movie, but it's marked online as a deleted scene. And it's right here. They actually dug a big hole right here where this empty space is. And that's where they had his casket in there, and they were lowering in the motorcycle. This is where, after the service, the biker comes over to his bike and pulls the gun out and says, "I'm giving you 21 shots, Red." And he starts shooting the gun up into the air, and then the accordion player and the guitar player come over here and...
21 guns, Red!
They're all playing right here, and Cher is standing here and looks over and sees Rocky sitting on this. This little white ledge here, and the way that you can tell is because oddly enough, as she walks over here, you can see the headstones and everything. So he ends up sitting right here, but where he ends up being buried at the end of the movie is just right here. We'll go over to see that in a little bit, but he would have been sitting on this ledge, and the way that I could match it up is because you can see the trees in the background that he's buried by, but you see that monument right there. I can see that while Cher and Eric Stoltz are sitting here having their conversation. You can actually see that in between them over their shoulders.
You okay? Yeah.
So I'll walk you over and show you. Yeah, that guy right there you would have seen over his in between their shoulders.
You're okay.
Now I believe right here where this turn ends is where the truck parks that Gar and Rusty and Dozer hop out of. And the way I could match it up is because if you look in the background of the shot, you can see that little white pillar behind him, or that little white monument. And I could tell that it was in between two trees. Those are the two trees. And we see Dozer actually come right over here, and he starts ripping the grass out. Right here. It would have been angled pretty much right here. And that's where we would have seen the Roy L. Dennis marker. Would have been in this plot right here, this open plot. He pulls that grass out and puts the flowers there. And you can see that tree behind him, because you can match up not only that knot, and it's definitely seen better days, but you can also match up that right behind it. When Cher walks over to here, you see this building, this yellow building, at the time was blue. But it's the same window structure and everything. You still, in the movie, you can still see it goes 1, then 2, 2, then 1. And then over her shoulder, while she's standing over here, you can actually see this, what's now a pink house. You can see that over her shoulder. And she would have basically been standing right here as they played that poem that Rocky wrote.
These things are good. Ice cream and cake, a ride on a Harley.
Now the interesting story about that poem was that the real Rocky Dennis wrote that poem. And I don't know the poem off the top of my head completely, but it was something to the effect of, "These things I like. Ice cream on my tongue." He goes through all these things, seeing monkeys in the trees, the rain on my tongue, and the sunshine on my face.
Seeing monkeys in the trees, the rain on my tongue, and the sun shining on my face.
And then he says, "These things are a drag." And he goes through 3 or 4 things that are a drag.
These things are a drag. Dust in my hair, holes in my shoes, no money in my pocket.
And he ends it also with,
and the sun shining on my face.
Because he had the enlarged face. So we end up seeing Gar and Dozer would have been over there. Cher would have been pretty much where we are. And you would have kind of seen her standing here with this kind of shot. Now the shot they used in the movie is something a little bit closer to this, because you could see more of this tree in the shot, and you could see all those telephone poles and all the grass in front. And you can also tell this is where the gravestone would have been right here, because in the background behind the tree you could still see those 2 telephone poles back there. So like I said, the real Rocky was, his body was donated to UCLA for research, but since the point of this vlog was to match up the movie and the meaning that the movie had, and this is where Rocky's tombstone would have been. Pam, I'm gonna put your sunglasses right there, right where the fictitious Rocky Dennis tombstone was. There was this headstone. I was curious whether it was a prop or whether it was real. This headstone now has fallen over, but at the time it was standing up, leaning against that. Kind of interesting to see that still here. Like I said, amazing soundtrack to this. A lot of really great Bruce Springsteen, and that's coming from somebody who's not a Bruce Springsteen fan. You also get, there's some Leonard Skinner in there, some Bob Seger, and of course the Grateful Dead, Ripple. Well, I think it's time we head out of here. Yeah, it was this this white thing right here that I was saying you could see in the background. So what we're gonna do now is, since I never come to Boyle Heights, there was a taco place here I came to when I first moved here that was known for having the hottest sauce in all of Los Angeles. I'm gonna see if the guy's still in business. He was about 80 years old when I was here then, so we'll see. Check out those giant butterflies over there. I don't know what that's all about. Well, looks like a Roscoe's is now closed. I couldn't find him, but King Taco is a total institution here in Los Angeles, so let's try King Taco today. You guys have never been here with me. Pretty much anything you get at King Taco is gonna be amazing. They're just known for having the best of everything, so maybe I'll try a sopes today, or I don't know, tacos, sopes, we'll see. I don't know, I think they have a big restaurant and then a smaller outdoor eatery. I think I'm gonna go here. A little bit of a line. And there's our founder. All right, I went ahead and ordered a carne asada quesadilla and an al pastor sopes because I've never had a sopes and I love al pastor, so I just thought, hey, why not try that version? Yeah, I kind of figured Orozco's Tacos was gone, and it was, and that's okay because I've been wanting to bring you guys to King Taco. It's probably the most famous taco place in LA anyway, so here we are. All right, there we go. There's the al pastor sopes, which is pork, carne asada quesadilla, and my only complaint is that I love to put limes on my Mexican food, and this place doesn't have limes, so you do have to deal with that. I would definitely say I like the quesadilla better, but they were both good. Thank you, King. Well, we're gonna call it a night here. Thank you all for watching. Pam Hall, thank you for becoming a Patreon. I hope you enjoyed your sunglasses vlog. I'll get those sunglasses mailed out to you right away. And thank you, Marianne Bazinet, for becoming my newest Patreon. If you'd like to help support and become a Patreon, go to patreon.com/JordanTheLion. Help us go to museums, helps us go pretty much everywhere we go every day. If you watch every day and you think it's worth it, please consider donating. Have a great night. We'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.